What's going on, VetRise family? It is your head coach, the head honcho, the head Juancho, Coach JP here. And I'm very happy to be talking about today's topic, sleep optimization, right? So what does that mean? So we're going to dive into today's topic. Make sure you pay attention. Watch this as many times as you need to, right? This is a on-demand module, which means that you can go back and watch it, rewatch it as you need to. The point of today is that you can actually watch this. It's not a long video, but then you can take some of the tools that we've talked about today and apply them to your life, right? It's not about perfection. It's about progression. You don't have to do all of these things, but I promise you, if you take the time to watch these videos, apply some of the things that work for you, try them out. If they don't work, that's fine. Remove them. But the things that do work, keep them in your kind of world that you always do, right? The systems that you have, your safety nets. Let's dive into it. So, as you can see today, we're going to be talking about, table of contents. So, we're going to be talking about the power of sleep, understanding sleep cycles, impacts of sleep deprivation, sleep and physical performance, practical sleep optimization techniques, addressing common sleep disruptions, sleep diary, sleep environment improvement plan, sleep hygiene check. And I got to move the camera. Here we go. Developing personal sleep strategy, conclusion, the journey towards better sleep. So let's dive into it. So the power of sleep, right? So what is sleep? So sleep defined as sleep is a physiological process characterized by altered consciousness, relatively inhibited sensory activity, and inhibition of nearly all voluntary muscles. Why is sleep important? So when we sleep, it actually allows our body to restore itself. And it actually promotes brain plasticity. And what's brain plasticity? So it's a mechanism for the brain to actually reorganize itself. It heals itself in a way, which is the way I like to see it. Actually helps you become a better version of yourself. Let me get the camera right. Here we go. All right, so it also plays a crucial role in memory and retention. Sleep and sleep productivity. Good sleep enhances problem-solving skills, attention span, learning capabilities, contributing to better productivity. A Harvard study showed that sleep deprivation leads to a 20 to 30% drop in workplace performance. And that's not good. So we want to make sure we have good performance all around, not just in the workplace, but in the gym, in your life, in your attitude, in a lot of different ways, right? There's also a lot more benefits to sleep. When you sleep, your body digests, your body produces testosterone, your body recovers from everything that you've been through for the past day. It's very important to get 6 to 8 hours of sleep, right? And we'll talk about the right amount of sleep in here in a little bit. All right, here we go. All right, understanding sleep cycles. So the explanation of sleep cycles. Now, we undergo 5 different cycles. A lot of people have thought that it's just deep sleep and regular sleep, right? It's much more than that. So stage 1 is that light sleep, all right? Stage 2 is when our body starts to actually prepare itself for that deep sleep. Stage 3 and stage 4 are actually deep sleep and delta sleep. And then we have REM sleep, okay? Now, people always think about deep sleep and REM sleep being the same thing. They're not. When you're in REM sleep, you actually have rapid eye movement sleep where most of your dreaming actually occurs. And in deep sleep and in REM sleep, that's when you have that real recovery sleep. And it takes a while to get into it. Sometimes it takes 2 to 3 hours to actually get into deep sleep. So if you were going to sleep and you're only sleeping 2 to 3 hours, you're not even getting to that deep sleep or that REM sleep cycle, right? Which is very important. Now, each role has a different kind of each stage has a different role, right? So stage 3 and stage 4 are where tissue growth and repair actually happens and your energy is restored. So like I mentioned, if you're not getting into that stage 3 and stage 4 because you're only getting that stage 1, stage 2, you're missing out on tissue growth. You're missing out on repair. You're missing out on when your energy is actually restored in the body. And then REM sleep contributes to actual emotional health and memory retention. All right, disrupted sleep sequences interrupting these stages due to sleep disorders and external disturbances can cause fatigue, mood changes, reduced cognitive function, increased risk for health conditions like heart disease, right? And we don't want that. And disease and diabetes, okay? We don't want that. This is why it's very important to make sure we get sleep because each cycle plays a different purpose. And if you're only getting 4 to 5 hours of sleep, you're actually hurting your body in much more than you think. You're never even getting into that REM sleep more than likely, right? We got to make sure we get those 6 to 8 hours of sleep to make sure we can get into a deep sleep and a REM sleep, okay? Impact of sleep deprivation. So what happens when you don't get your sleep, right? So what are some of those implications? Well, we have chronic sleep deprivation problems as a society in whole, and it can lead to hypertension, obesity, diabetes due to altered hormone levels because your body is not regulating properly because you're supposed to be sleeping to do that. It can also lead to not being able to control your appetite because when you sleep, you actually help with your hormone levels controlling your appetite, ghrelin and leptin. Growth, stress, and metabolism are huge factors of making sure you get into that real deep sleep as well, right? It also has cognitive and emotional consequences. Lack of sleep negatively impacts your mood. You're becoming super irritable. You think you're getting by. You keep telling yourself you're not a regular sleeper. You keep telling yourself you have problem sleeping. You have problem sleeping because you keep avoiding doing the things you're supposed to be doing. You don't know how to have a good sleep hygiene routine to make sure you get into that deep sleep and that REM sleep because you're actually sleeping the right amount of time. And we'll talk about that, okay? It can also lead to irritability, which we all know, and depression. If you suffer from PTSD, if you suffer from depression, if you suffer from anxiety, if you have ADHD, if you have any of these issues, you not getting into that deep sleep or actually making sure you're getting a lot of sleep is going to negatively affect you because all of those things are much more prominent and visible when you're avoiding getting into that real like deep sleep, okay? It also affects your cognitive functions, such as attention, your decision-making process, and your memory, right? Now, what's the importance of quality sleep? I'm not talking about just getting 2 to 3 or 4 or 5 hours. I'm talking about quality sleep, right? 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep for adults is recommended by the National Sleep Foundation to maintain optimal health and well-being. Now, if you can get those 8 hours sleep, that's optimal. If you have a schedule that you go to bed every day at the same time and you wake up in the morning at the same time, I'm talking about the same time. I'm not talking about an hour here, an hour there. I'm talking about you're in bed and you're sleeping by 10 p.m. and you're waking up at, let's just say, 4 a.m. Hear me out. I know that's only 6 hours, but studies do show that if you go to bed at the same time and you wake up at the same time, you can do pretty well with 6 hours of sleep. Now, if you get 8, even better. You're boosting testosterone creation levels. You're boosting your metabolism. You are getting better recovery sleep. You're sleeping more, right? So like if you can get more sleep, then great. But if you do go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time, you can do just fine with 6 hours of sleep. Sleep and physical performance. So sleep is a recovery tool. We've talked about this a little bit already. During the deep stages of deep sleep and REM sleep, which combine as NRM sleep, the body repairs and regrows tissues. It builds bone and muscle, and it strengthens the immune system, okay? Sleep and muscle growth. Human growth hormone, HGH, that is absolutely crucial for muscle repair and growth. Now, it's primarily secreted into your body during slow wave sleep, which is that deep sleep and that REM sleep, right? So if you're not getting to those stages, you're missing out on your body actually producing HGH for yourself, right? And how does sleep affect your performance? All right. A Stanford study showed that basketball players improved their on-court performance by increasing their sleep duration. And when you sleep more, you perform better. So you think that you can get by with 5 hours of sleep, you're not going to be performing as optimally as you can on your day-to-day than if you were getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. That's just a fact. Like you can tell yourself, I'm getting by. It's not about getting by. It's about optimal performance because of optimal sleep, okay? Practical sleep optimization techniques. So what are some of the techniques, some of the tools, some of the things you can do to make sure you can get practical sleep, right? So your sleep environment, make sure it's dark. One of the things that I used, and I've upgraded a few times, but one of the things that I use is I use a sleep mask, okay? This is a Manta sleep mask. This one is kind of expensive because it also has audio because I listen to binaural music, BINAURAL, which I did a post in the Facebook group about it. Type in binaural in the Facebook group and the post will come up. It'll explain why binaural music works very well for me and it works well for you too. And I'll talk a little bit about it today. But I wear a sleep mask. Now, if you don't, excuse me, if you don't want to wear a sleep mask because you don't like something covering your eyes, make sure you get some really dark shades. Make sure you turn off all the lights in your room. Make sure that an hour before you go to bed, you have your room nice and dark and cool, right? So that's something else right here. So we want it to be nice, dark. You should not be able to see your hand in front of your face. It should be pitch black, okay? Quiet. Use earplugs or white noise machines if that helps. Don't have all these notifications going off. Make sure you put your phone on Do Not Disturb or sleep mode. Put it across the room from you. It doesn't have to be next to you, okay? Once you do all that, we can move on to making sure that your room is cool. Between 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit is the optimal sleep temperature, because if you're waking up when you're sweating and you wake up real sweaty, number one, you're losing hydration from that, but number two, your body is going to be uncomfortable all night. You want to make sure your room is nice and cold. If you wake up and you have all these layers on top of you and you're waking up sweaty, you're not optimally sleeping, okay? Invest in comfortable, high-quality mattresses and pillows. Now, there's a bunch of different pillows and mattresses out there. We're not going to dive into that today. We can do further conversations about that, but I do suggest that you get something that covers your eyes, or make sure you have blackout curtains. Make sure your room is nice and cool, and make sure that it's nice and quiet as well. All right. Something else that I do is I try and turn off all the lights in my house and only have some lights on, which are below eye level, at least an hour before I actually go to bed. Right. Sleep schedule. You got to try and maintain a consistent sleep-wake cycle, even on weekends. It helps regulate your body's internal clock. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. When you wake up, try and get that sunlight right away. That wakes up your body. That's the natural circadian rhythm. When you do that, you can actually wake up the right way and go to sleep the right way. Okay, now if you're one of those people, that has to work a night shift, and you're driving home and you've been up all night, and you got to come home and you're trying to fall asleep, one of the tools that you can use is blue light blocking glasses. Now, these blue light blocking glasses you can find online. They have some for $20, some a little more expensive. This one is from Whoop. I do recommend taking the time to invest and actually buying some higher end sleep glasses, because I have found that the cheaper ones don't really do it for me. The reason why I recommend these is because if you're going to be driving home and you're trying to get into that sleep winding down routine, wear these on your drive home. When you get home, don't take them off. Do all the things that you have to do. Brush your teeth. Make sure you do set up your alarms. Make sure that you're ready for the next day. Maybe set up your workout equipment. But if you have to have lights on around you, I recommend these. Now, this is not to say that if you have these on, you can stay up on your phone scrolling on it all night. No, that is going to still act detrimentally to you, because that's not really conducive to what you're trying to do. But wear these if you have no other option and you have to drive home and you have to be on your phone looking at directions, whatever, on your way home. That way you can still try and wind down the right way, okay? All right, so diet and sleep. Avoid large meals. At least 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed, you should avoid any large meals. All right, no large meals at least 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. Now, if you get that sweet tooth at night, or you want to get more protein, something you can do is get some casein protein, CASEIN. That protein is a slow digesting protein. It's going to make sure you hit your protein numbers for the day, and it's not going to keep you up because your body is not going to be awake digesting it all night. If you have a meal really close to your bedtime, your body is going to avoid going into that deep sleep, because when you go into that deep sleep, your organs go to sleep as well, right? So if you're in deep sleep, your digestion won't be working. And because you ate a meal really close to your bedtime, guess what? Your digestive system has to stay up and it has to work and has to process the food for at least 4 to 5 hours after that, okay? Avoid caffeine at least 7 hours before you go to bed. Write this down if you need to. No food, no large meals at least 3 hours before bed, no caffeine at least 7 hours before bed. And alcohol, I don't even drink alcohol, to be honest with you, but if you have alcohol, people think, oh, it helps me fall asleep. Yes, but if you have alcohol at night, it completely destroys your body's hormonal reaction to what's supposed to happen, and you're going to get really terrible sleep. Your sleep score, if you have one of those trackers, I wear a Whoop, it tells you right away that your sleep recovery is only in like the 10%, 15%. You want to avoid alcohol late at night. You can consider foods high in tryptophan, like turkey, eggs, and cheese for your late night dinners. But again, don't count solely on that. That can boost some sleep-inducing hormone, melatonin. Now, melatonin. I do not recommend taking melatonin to go to bed, because it can be very habit forming, right? Especially with kids. Melatonin studies have shown it can delay their growth. It can delay their puberty. It can delay their testosterone being leaked into their body the right way. So I don't recommend melatonin for my kids. I don't recommend melatonin for any kids. If you need melatonin, I would take it in low dosages, and I would not take it daily. There are other things such as magnesium threonate. Okay, so this is something I take every night. Mad Mind, and it's made by Jarrow Formulas. That's Jarroow Formulas. You can find this on Amazon. Write it down if you need to. And I take 3 of these every night. Now, since I've been taking these, and since I've been doing the sleep mask and a bunch of other stuff, I've been sleeping much better. But when I wasn't taking magnesium threonate, which this is a natural tool that can help you fall asleep. Okay, it has magnesium threonate, which again helps you fall asleep naturally. This is something I recommend. You take 3 of these a night. Magnesium threonate, the Mad Mind. Here we go. See if it focuses. All right. Exercise. Regular physical activity can help you fall asleep faster and enjoy deeper sleep. However, I don't recommend, and I don't want you guys to exercise too close to bedtime as it interferes with your sleep because, number one, your adrenaline is up. You released a bunch of serotonin. Like, think of your workouts as something that's going to release serotonin. It's going to give you energy. It's going to wake you up. It's going to prime you to have a great day. So why not do that in the morning or in the early afternoon hours to make sure that you still have a good rest of your day and you can have all the benefits from actually working out. If you take pre-workouts, I do not recommend taking them within 6 hours before you go to bed, okay? Especially if they are the ones that have citrulline in it, especially if the ones that make you feel itchy. Think of it that way, okay? Addressing common sleep disruptions. So we got to identify what those sleep disruptions are. Insomnia, difficulty falling or staying asleep, sleep apnea, breathing interruptions during your sleep, and restless leg syndrome, uncomfortable sensation causing need to move the legs are common sleep issues, as well as obviously PTSD and anxiety. Now, what can we do about these things, right? So with insomnia, have a routine, have a regular sleep schedule that you follow. Don't let yourself or your insomnia cause you to doom scroll. If you feel like that insomnia is kicking in, get out of bed. Use the bed for sleep only. Get out of bed, go somewhere else, turn on a small light, and read a book. Do not grab your phone. The insomnia plus blue light from a phone screen is going to wake you up like that. Okay, so you want to grab a light, maybe find a night light that you have somewhere, and read a book. Read 10 to 15 pages, and then try falling asleep again. If that doesn't work, we can try other methods, but that's the number one way that I suggest you to tackle your insomnia. Okay, sleep apnea. If you have sleep apnea, there's a lot of different tools out there. One of the things that I suggest is get a nose tape. Okay, the nose tape actually opens up your nose, it opens up your nostrils so you can sleep better. Something else that I've been doing for years that I wasn't really going to talk about today, but I actually, give me 1 second, I grab something, hold on. All right, for the past 4 or 5 years, I've been doing mouth taping. Here's the tape. I cut a little piece and I put it on my mouth. Now, you might feel uncomfortable doing this. I'm not saying that you have to do this, but I cut a little piece of tape and I put it on my mouth. I do it with scissors. Hold on. So, mouth taping has been known to help restructure your jaw. Just like that. I use 3M cloth tape. And the reason I do this is because when you mouth breathe at night, you actually lose a lot of hydration through your breathing. So you want to make sure you don't do that, okay? Now, remember, these are things that you can do. You don't have to do all of them. I'm very specific with what I do because of the way that I've programmed my life. But I'm not saying that you have to do all these things, okay? But mouth taping, along with buying the nose strips that you can put over your nose, and it actually opens up your nostril airway, so it promotes nose breathing, which is the right way to breathe, especially at night. Those are some tools that you can do. Now, for the restless leg syndrome, something you can do is get a weighted blanket. That will help soothe your body at night. It feels more comforting. But again, those can be very warm, right? So you might feel a little bit too hot with that. Don't get the heavy ones. Get one that maybe is about 10 to 15 pounds. It doesn't have to be the 25 pounder, 30 pounder. That might be a little bit too much. It'll be too hot, okay? Sleep hygiene. Good practices include limiting daytime naps, avoiding caffeine and nicotine, creating a relaxing bedtime ritual, which we've already talked about, and setting up a comfortable sleep environment. Make sure you don't have a bunch of technology around your bed. Make sure you don't have a really bright light next to your bed. Do these things to make sure you have better sleep. You can win your day tomorrow if your sleep tonight is that much better. I promise you that, okay? You can seek professional help if sleep disruptions persist despite all of these lifestyle changes. So if you try all these things and you can't get your sleep right, then maybe you can seek professional help at that time. All right, if you feel excessively tired during the day, it's crucial that you do seek professional help. But again, don't think that doing all these things isn't going to help you. It is. So doing the magnesium threonate, doing the blue light blocking glasses, mouth taping, making sure that you're wearing a sleep mask. This is made by Manta. You don't have to buy this one. They have other ones. I have another one over there. But this one has binaural music. So let me talk about binaural music, right? So binaural music, B-I-N-A-U-R-A-L, plays different wavelengths from your left ear than your right ear. And the reason it does that is because then your brain has to activate just enough to be able to process the music that's coming in, and it's playing different wavelengths on different sides of the brain, which in turn lowers that racing mind feeling at the end of the day. That can help with your PTSD or your anxiety, and it should help you fall asleep a lot faster, okay? You can find binaural music on whatever app you listen to music to, okay? And I do, ignore that, I do like these because these have headphones in that play into it, so I don't have to wear like big ass earbuds. But again, there are other tools. There's cheaper ones, cheaper versions of this on Amazon. You can find one that costs you $15. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about Pavlok. The reason I wear this Pavlok watch is because in the morning I have trouble waking up. All right, and I found that this is the number one tool that helps me wake up. It gives me a little shock to the body. And the only way to turn it off is to wake up and do some jumping jacks, or I have to wake up and go take a picture of something that's outside in the hallway. I have to do something. I can't just turn it off, right? And I thought this was a gimmick. For years, I saw it. I laughed at it. I didn't think it would work. It works. I promise you. If you have trouble waking up in the morning and actually jumping up out of bed, this is a tool I recommend for $100, $150, whatever it costs. You can get your sleep in the morning right, and this is definitely worth it. Okay, Pavlok, P-A-V-L-O-K. All right. Sleep diary. So you could do a regular diary that you can use as a sleep diary. It helps document your sleep patterns and daytime activities. Helps you identify behaviors. So if you keep trying all these things and nothing seems to be working, you have to identify where are you lacking. Why are you not being able to fall asleep at the right time? Document everything. Document what time you go to bed. Document your wake time, your total sleep hours, your quality of sleep. I have something called Whoop, W-H-O-O-P. It's an annual subscription. They send you this for free, and it costs about $15 to $20 a month if you get the long-term subscription. This tells me all my sleep. It tells me my recovery. It tells me my strength for the day. It tells me what has helped me sleep. It actually analyzes everything. I have a sleep diary in here that I open up every day, and I tell my little app, what did I do last night? What did I do the day before? And how did my sleep turn out? And it analyzes it for me. And 2 months in, it tells me, all right, every time that you do this, your sleep recovery number is this much higher. Or every time you do this, your sleep recovery number is that much lower. Stop doing this or try doing more of this, right? So that's one way to do a sleep diary. But again, you can just get a diary, do it on your own, document everything that's happening, look at it and figure out what is it that might be causing you to have such bad sleep, okay? And again, this is something you can also share with the professional if you end up looking for professional help. After a week, analyze the week of sleeping and talk about it. And if you want help with this, and if you actually go through the process and do a whole week of sleep study, send me the screenshots of the sleep journal in the app, and I will take a look at them and see if I can give you some feedback, all right? All right, so what's some homework we got? So sleep environment improvement plan, all right? It's very important that your environment is conducive. It's very important. That way you have a conducive environment. Significantly, it can impact the ability for you to fall asleep and actually have good sleep quality. I want you to go tonight and assess your bedroom based on the following parameters. So look at what the light looks like. Look at how much noise there is in your room or around you. Look at the temperature. Look at the comfort level, right? After all that, do a personal plan, have an assessment done, and I want you to draft an improvement plan. It may include using earplugs, a white noise machine, blackout curtains, or maybe upgrading your mattress and pillows because you've had it for 10 years and you need something new, right? Or maybe it means buying some magnesium threonate, doing the mouth tape, doing the sleeping mask, whatever it does. All right, so I want you to write this out, okay? And then I want you to do like a post in the Facebook group. So type out your sleep assessment and then talk about what you're going to change. And then I want you to go and post in the Facebook group for accountability post. And that way you can give other people ideas, or you can make sure people hold you accountable. I can hold you accountable to make sure you're actually making these changes, right? So sleep hygiene check. Sleep hygiene essentials. Good practices include limited daytime naps to 30 minutes. If you want to take a daytime nap, I have no problem with that. Limit it to 30 minutes. And I would say if it's after 3 p.m., I wouldn't even take a nap. Okay? Avoid stimulants like caffeine, nicotine close to bedtime, and avoid electronic screens during the evening hours. As soon as you can, get that phone, put it on sleeping mode, set your sleep mode already, set your alarms, put it across the room as soon as you can. That way you have at least an hour before you go to bed and you wind down. Your body understands it's time to go to bed. Okay, so self-assessment. Identify current habits that might be harming your sleep, such as late night screen time or working from the bedroom. Personal hygiene plan. Develop a personal plan, like we talked about, to eliminate poor habits and implement good ones. For example, set a screen curfew 1 to 2 hours before bedtime, or create a relaxing pre-sleep routine. You can do meditation before you go to sleep. You can do a stretching routine before you go to sleep. Try different things, at least for a week. Don't try them one day and say, it didn't work, I'm done doing it. Give it a week and understand that it will get better with time, okay? Homework. I talked about this already, developing the personal sleep strategy. So personal sleep strategy guide based on your sleep diary findings, sleep environment assessment, and sleep hygiene check. Draft a comprehensive personal sleep optimization strategy. SMART goals. Your goals should include go to bed and wake up at the same time for every day for the next month, and replace late night screen time with reading a book every night for the next 2 weeks. Support and follow-up. Seek support from family members or a sleep coach, me. Use sleep tracking devices to measure progress and revisit your plan for regular adjustments. All right, so after you do that, write out a post it in the Facebook group for accountability, share it, record yourself doing it, whatever you need to do to make sure you get your sleep right. Sleep is the number one tool that you can use to optimize your day, because a positive day starts with the last night's sleep, right? So what did we talk about? Key strategies. Ensure a dark, cool, and quiet room. Consistent schedule. Maintain regular sleep and wake times. Healthy habits. Limit naps. Avoid caffeine and alcohol close to bedtime. Avoid foods as well. Manage stress. Gradual improvement. Emphasize patience and consistency. Just because it doesn't work for 1 or 2 days doesn't mean that it's not going to work if you do it for a whole week plus, right? And then the homework. Continue your diarying, optimize your environment, improve your habits, and apply personal sleep strategy, and post in the Facebook group. I want to see everybody post in the Facebook group. And that's it, guys. Thank you guys all for watching. If you've watched this and you got some value, do me a favor, comment below or comment in the Facebook group that you just watched the sleep optimization mindset module and what you took away from it, all right? Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Peace.